Hey there, friends. Have you ever wanted to learn a new skill, but didn't because you thought it would take months or years even to learn that skill? Well, I'm going to share with you that there's a way that takes far less time. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a method that will help you become relatively good at almost anything in less than 20 hours. And by the way, if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Dr. T. I'm an educator turned business builder and author of this book that you see right here, The 4 Cornerstones of Effective Schools, where I highlight my systems for school turnaround. And on this channel, I share practical ideas to help you live with more peace, work smarter, become more capable, and create new possibilities. Now, most people overestimate how long it truly takes to become good enough at something. Most people think it takes a lot of time. And I think most people say that the gold standard is 10,000 hours. And let me clarify, by being good at something, what I mean is overcoming that awkward and frustrating beginner phase and actually become proficient at the skill that you're learning. With that, I'm here to tell you that you can get there with just 20 hours of deliberate practice using the 5-step method I'm going to be sharing with you in the video today, based upon my key takeaways from Josh Kaufman's book, The First 20 Hours. And this is important because learning new skills creates new opportunities, whether that's getting a promotion, changing careers, starting a business, or just even learning something that you've always wanted to learn. Learning a new skill will create and expand new opportunities for you. So here's how the method works. So the first step is identify. In other words, this is about deciding on what it is that you actually want to learn. And this could mean things like learning how to use AI to automate administrative tasks in your business. It could mean understanding how to improve photo or video quality, learning the basics of playing an instrument. It could mean learning how to become a better keynote speaker, or it could even mean learning how to edit videos in something like Final Cut Pro or CapCut even. Also, as part of this step, it's equally important to understand what your motivation is. And this means uncovering your why behind wanting to learn a new skill. And here you ask yourself, what new opportunities would learning this skill present? And sometimes the motivation behind learning a new skill is because it's something that you've always wanted to learn, and that gives you a sense of accomplishment. And whatever your why is, you're gonna need it because you're gonna be stepping into unfamiliar territory, which can be both awkward and frustrating. And that's when limiting beliefs show up. Limiting beliefs in the form of saying to yourself, this is just gonna be too hard, or it's not worth it, or it's gonna take entirely too long for me to learn this thing that I'm trying to learn. So knowing your why and keeping it front and center helps you get through the initial phases without giving up. And now the next step in this method is to explore any and all research relative to the skill that you're trying to learn. And this will help you identify any frameworks that support learning, making the process easier. And what I found that really works is starting in 3 places with your research. And that's starting with books, podcasts, and YouTube. And as you go through those sources, I wouldn't try to learn everything. Instead, look for common patterns in terms of how that skill is approached. And those patterns become a simple framework that you can refer back to as you practice. So by doing a little research and finding those common patterns, it makes the process much easier because now you have something that you can refer back to as you practice. And it also makes it far less likely that you'll give up. Okay, now, the third step in the method is dissecting the skill and breaking it down into sub-skills. Then you'll arrange those sub-skills in order where each one builds upon the last. That way you're not just jumping from one thing to the next, and you also have a clear path to follow. Let's take playing the piano, for example. Before you can comfortably play the piano, there are certain sub-skills that you need to learn. For example, you'll need to learn the musical alphabet. You'll need to learn finger placement. You'll need to learn chords and chord progression. Each one of those skills builds towards the next skill. And another benefit of breaking the skill down into sub-skills is that you may realize that there's a skill or two, a sub-skill or two that you may have already mastered. And therefore, you can bypass that skill and dedicate more focus and energy on the areas that actually need work. For example, now a disclaimer, I'm no Alicia Keys or Bruno Mars, but when I started learning how to play the piano, I already knew a few basic chords, so I didn't need to spend energy and effort there. Instead, I could focus on the skills that were new to me. So the goal here is simple. Create a learning path where one skill builds on the previous one. That way you're not trying to learn everything all at once, and you always know what you need to focus on next. The fourth step in the process is called simplify. And this is about removing anything that could potentially get in the way of you practicing the skills that you're learning. And one thing that gets in the way is being worried about being good at first. And here's something I want to share with you. When you're starting out, everyone is a beginner. And being a beginner means that you will not be very good at first. And that's okay. It's normal. Just know that if you continue to put in the work, put in the reps, put in the practice, you will get better. And there are also some practical things that get in the way, such as time and space. For example, not having a quiet space to practice will make things harder for you. So for me, what I like to do is I like to find somewhere where I will not be interrupted, somewhere that is quiet, somewhere that will allow me to focus. And when it comes to time, this means just simply setting aside time to practice, setting aside time for those 20 hours. And you could space it out over the course of 2 days, you could space it out over the course of a week, or even a couple of weeks. And the goal here is simple. Remove as many barriers as possible so you can get in the 20 hours of practice. Now, the final step of the method is practice. This is where you actually do the work. And what I'd recommend is start by practicing one sub skill at a time until you've mastered all of the sub skills that make up the bigger skill. And with that, commit to the 20 hours. Don't skip it. Do not skip the 20 hours. The 20 hours is where everything starts to come together. The more reps you get in, the better you become. It's just that simple. And it's also helpful to get feedback from a friend or someone who already knows the skill. They may notice things that you don't to help you improve faster. And also, give yourself some grace. Be patient with yourself. Like I said earlier, you won't be good at first, and that is normal. But if you continue to put in the reps, if you put in the 20 hours of practice, you'll become surprisingly good. And if you practice beyond those 20 hours, you will become even better. And once you've mastered this process, you can continue to use it over and over and over again to learn almost any new skill. All right, friends, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you watch this one over here where I break down my process for remembering everything that I read. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.